Hello, everyone. My name is Elijah Eastwood, and welcome to Elijah's podcast. And today, we'll be talking about two KU productions that I had the pleasure to watch this semester: Measure for Measure and HMS Pinafore. The first one, Measure for Measure, is one that I've already made a previous post about in this podcast. Um, I think this KU production was very unique with the world of the play because it was in the Wild West of Kansas, and the actors were all different races, ethnicities, genders, and it didn't matter what role or character they were playing, which goes to show how far we have come from the original script. Also, it could relate with the audience since we're in Kansas, having it being in the Wild Wild West. I thought that was pretty cool. To sum up the plot a little bit.
So basically, the Duke of Vieta, the place we're in, Vicentio, who kind of sucks at his job because he's more or less lazy and lets a lot of things slide. He pretends to be put on leave and is leaving his partner in crime, Angelo, which was the officer at the time. Um, Angelo's known for being more strict and shows it while being in charge for a while. Um, then Claudio gets Juliet pregnant and is sentenced for jail and to be put to death ultimately. Um, Juliet is to be kept alive only because she has a baby still, and her crime is seen worse because she's a woman. Um, Isabella is the brother of Claudio and pleads for the release of him to Angelo, the new dictator. Um, the Angelo blackmails Isabella, saying that he would only release him if she were to be intimate with him. And this goes on to lead on to more lies and more deception. The Duke, however, just wants to see if Angelo would misuse his newly granted power, which he obviously did, which kind of shocked everyone, which with how harsh he was being. This eventually led to he continued to lie, deceive, use propaganda, and misuse his power all the way until he was too late and had fallen into the Duke's trap. This ends with the woman's voice finally being heard and justice for the misleading power of the voice of a male. Um, I like how clear cut and interesting the political aspect of the plot is. I like how they displayed that. I saw satire in how the male political leader, big figure, he got his way the whole time, and looked helpless for Isabella and her plea the whole time. It seemed like she was getting deceived countless times, and he was just laughing it off or just doing what he could. But then it all turned around, and at the end, Isabella with the power now, not necessarily the power of a duke, but she had complete control over the situation, which I really like to see.
Now, I would say that this second production, HMS Pinafore, is more about the clash of different classes, meaning like social classes, with the bottom being the poor and the top being either royalty or very, very wealthy. And back in the time of the world of play, the Victorian England kind of area, you were supposed to stay within your social class for things like entertainment and especially marriage. Like, you're not supposed to marry anyone outside your class. Um, and I think there was also satire in this opera, just like there was for Measure, because the captain's daughter, the captain was very high in the social class, fell in love with the poor sailorman, who was very low, if not in the bottom of the social class, and they were not at all allowed to marry each other because of the social class differences. And I think what brings out the satire is that the sailor and captain were switched at birth. So I think that's really funny to me. I really enjoyed this opera, and I never saw the ending coming. It was also funny at times, and I think overall it was a good performance for me. Here are my sources I looked up to understand the history of the class system a little better. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you for my last podcast next week. Thank you.